So if you're new to Agile thinking and you're looking for a way to get some formalized training in the mix, does the Scrum Master training serve as a good kickstart to your Agile journey?
Let me start with this idea. Don't just walk into a Scrum training class cold and blind. A lot of the activities and examples are just going to go over your head. You need to understand a little bit more about the disease before we can give you the cure, before anybody really can give you the cure. And with that said, if you're very new to the Scrum world, I would start with a book. Start with reading about the history of Scrum and the problems it was designed to solve. Start by, I could pick a few books. We've got a whole book on Scrum Master, a reading list, but one example, I'll pick on a Jeff Sutherland book called The Art of Doing Twice as Much in Half the Time. And it's a little controversial in Agile circles. And us being Scrum.org aligned and, whatever, there's some history here. But it is a good book, and there's some interesting stories in that book about bad things that were happening and how some of the ideas of Scrum, if not the entire framework, actually helped solve those problems. Before you take a training, have that in the back of your mind. What did this look like by not having Scrum? So when you go to the training class, it's only 2 days. It's going to have a lot more impact on you. So that's my nickel worth of info.
I like that. And yeah, love the book. Hate the subtitle, but love the book. That's a good recommendation. So as a completely neutral and unbiased source of information about Scrum training, okay, so all three of us are Scrum trainers. Clearly, we think training is valuable. But here's, in addition to what Rob said, of understand why you're going into some kind of Scrum training or agility training in the first place. I also think it's important to have some realistic expectations. So you are not going to walk into a 2-day training class and then walk out 2 days later and be an expert on all things Scrum. That's just not going to happen. And I've seen people come into a class and just expect that, at 5 p.m. the second day or whenever the class ends, they should go take a test and get 100% on that test, and then they should just go back to the organization and they should have the silver bullet to solve all the problems. And it's like, no, that's not what Scrum training is. Scrum training is a way, it's an immersive, 2-day usually, way to get into a different way of thinking about solving organizational problems. It's really giving you a different set of tools, and then you have to go practice using those tools to get good at it. And if you walk in with the wrong expectations, I think you're going to be disappointed.
So we all three teach this Scrum Master class, the PSM 1, and I think we've all had the noobs coming in with zero knowledge about the framework. And since the question was more articulated towards an Agile journey, just so happened to be that Scrum is what they discovered along the way, can this be a decent kickstart or introduction to the reasons why agility matters? I would argue that, yeah, it can be. You might be a little overwhelmed going into a Scrum Master training, especially one of the PSM courses that we teach. But if we know in advance, and this is the cool part, when we start our courses, we always ask, where are you at with Scrum? Is this your new? Are you brand new to it? Do you even know what it means? Did the Scrum guide, you crack it open for the first time, and the book binder's cracked because it had never been opened up before? Like, how new are you to these topics? We can suss that out and navigate some of the conversations along the way to make it not just easier to digest, but connect it to the roots of why it actually matters. Because if you're in a Scrum course, you're going to come away with a lot of knowledge, but if you can't connect it to why it matters in business agility and for agility purposes, especially in regards to complexity, it's not going to matter at all. So could it help kickstart your Agile journey? Yeah. But I agree with Jason and Rob. You got to have a decent mindset coming into it, maybe even a little prep work, so you're just not overwhelmed with the knowledge.
If you like this video, just leave us a comment. If you got some positive feedback, we'd love to hear it. And if you've got some negative feedback, well, we'd love to hear that too.
And be sure to check out our description. We have our email list there and our upcoming classes so you can upgrade your knowledge and work on a certification.